seen these doors before. What does it lead to? Gerald? What's this you've built? That doesn't look like a roller coaster to me. In fact, I'm gonna test this out. Put this here. And what? It doesn't even work. Gerald, did you even test this thing? I figured as much, but you've inspired me to make a roller coaster that's going to be even better than yours just because of how bad this is. Now, I'm not going to just make one roller coaster, I'm going to make multiple, starting off with an upgrade of Gerald's one that actually works. So I started by building up my pillar a lot higher, and then I'm going to basically do what Gerald did, make the end a bit taller so that you'll actually go back and forth. From the looks of things, that should definitely be high enough, maybe a little too tall in fact. But you know what, that's okay, I'll add my railings and then test this out. And just for added suspense, I'll add this rail out at the top just so there's a possibility you can fall off. And now for the grand reveal, which seems to be working steadily so far. That is a lot of blocks I definitely did not need to place. And then for now we just keep going back and forth like how it's supposed to be. Which brings me on to my next idea. However, I have to figure out how to actually make that. Which I think by doing that works. So I'm basically going to keep doing this but making it more fancier, which means it's kind of going to have a roof. However, I'm not liking these just plain blue corners, so I'm replacing those. Perfect, this is looking good so far. However, am I able to add 2 of these? I think if I can, that'll look so cool. But I should test the bottom one. Yeah, I don't hit my head there, so it's okay. Now my second roller coaster is officially finished, which brings me on to my third design. This one's sort of going to be like a circle downwards, which will be a lot easier to explain once I actually build it. So first I'm going to replace part of the ground with these cell sands to make a fast elevator upwards. However, I'm going to surround it with a red and white pattern, mostly so it's just not a blank tower. And I'm going to expand it out a little bit, mostly to give it some more texturing. I don't know if that's the right word for it though. However, it does make the tower a lot wider. Now, although this does look slightly weird, it's definitely going to look a lot better as it gets taller. Because after all, I want this to be one of the biggest roller coasters imaginable. I seem to have so many mobs spawning underneath it. I didn't know the shadow was so big. Look, there's spiders here. There was a creeper here too just a moment ago as well. So the base of my tower is officially completed with it being 12 tiers tall. So basically what I'm going to do now is finish it off in sort of a triangle shape until it can match the little square down there. So when that's finished, I'm going to fill the sides here with invisible blocks. So that way the water won't leak out anywhere and it won't ruin the effect that this has. I'm starting to see a small issue, which is mainly all of these mobs spawning in. However, the mobs won't be able to affect the player though, since there'll be invisible blocks between them. So maybe I might actually leave it like this. This means now I need to add all of my water so that the elevator works upwards. I should probably add some doors though so that this water doesn't leak out everywhere. And since the actual entirety of the tower is finished, I get to start building the actual roller coaster part of my roller coaster. Basically, you're just going to keep going around and around until eventually you reach the corners here, which is when I'm going to alter the build. The only unfortunate part about this is that these rails will not be good enough to make you go all the way around without stopping. So I'm going to have to do some fancy redstone stuff with these blocks, kind of like this because it powers both of these rails. And finally, this is completed. However, there's still the whole entire tower left to go. Now, although the rails are hard to see, this is essentially what it's going to look like all the way to the bottom of this. And finally, after many hours of work, this singular roller coaster is now completed. It takes about 5 minutes to get down the entire thing. Now, although I have 3 roller coasters, I want one more to make a 4th, which this time is going to be built out of yellow concrete. And it'll start right here on the bottom of the ground. This one is kind of just going to be a random roller coaster which goes around all of these different things. Now, when you're up here, instead of going to the other side because there's a bedrock wall here, you're going to take a sudden turn. Now, this is where you take a giant drop off the very end. However, I'm going to use a few test subjects to see whereabouts I should make the landing pool. And from what I see, all the minecarts land right about here. Now, it would be quite funny if I just let you land into the ocean, but I won't do that. But now, since I finally have this entire thing completed, I'm going to get Gerald and see what he thinks of this. And as you can tell, this is so much better than yours so far, don't you think? Oh, come on, you have to at least test the rides before you say stuff like that. And as you go on these, I want you to tell me what you think about them. What? You can't be serious. This is your favorite color too. I thought you liked the smaller rides. This red one's pretty tall. Are you sure you can handle it? Well, why don't you step on through then? I mean, since you don't like a small ride, surely you must enjoy these bigger, long rides. Honestly, I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying this at least a little bit. And you're finally on the last pathways down. So surely you like this ride. Okay, come on, now you're just lying to me. However, we have one final one left to try, which goes around the whole park. And now it's time for the biggest drop of your life. How are you feeling, Gerald? I'm sure you had so much fun on all of these, so what do you rate my roller coasters? What? That is barely anything. I know you had much more fun than that. Well, I mean, at least we can go take a look at what you've built. I bet you haven't even proved anything. Let's see, you've made one tiny modification to this, and you expect me to believe that this is going to be good. Okay, but I'm trusting you, you know. Down I go, Gerald. Wait, what? No, this is supposed to go somewhere. motion.